Hey, good afternoon. Quick little update here. Got one, these hard questions going to be coming. We've had a few already. These are nothing new. They're going to be thrown around for the entire campaign, so everybody just get used to them. But we need to know how to answer them. And you out there need to know how to answer them, understand how you feel comfortable about it. So when you have that hard question come to you, you don't have to fumble around, you don't have to look nervous. You can stand up confidently and say this. Well, let's look at that question and look at that issue for a minute. Yes, nobody's denying we have to protect our children, of course. I mean, and I'm being in all honesty and sincerity here. Of course we do. We all want to protect our children. I don't want anybody's children to get bad crap, do anything silly and stupid. Nobody does. Children are children. We want to protect them. That's a given. But the question we got to look at, we're positioned, we've context this thing into one frame of mind. So we need to step out of that frame of mind. And how we do that is with this little series of questions. So when somebody says, well, what do we do about the children? They're going to be able to use pot on the second, on the schoolyard, yada, yada, yada. And of course, that's kind of silly, but this is what's being said and people are worried about. So here's how I've been handling it. I said, can I ask you 3 questions? And I'll ask the first question. I say, okay, question number 1, very simply, should minors, children, be able to use recreational marijuana? And of course, most of the time, even in the community, you're going to get no. Should not be able to use it. And we're doing just yes and no's here. So should they use recreational marijuana? Pretty much no. Second question. Now, again, these aren't our personal opinions, so I'm just giving you guys a scenario so we all understand how to handle this. It's not our opinion that we're worried about, it's their opinion that we need to change. And this is how I've been doing it. And the first question is pretty easy because that's what everybody asks. So kids shouldn't be using recreational pot? Of course not. So we ask, should children use recreational marijuana or be allowed to? And most people say no, about 85%. Number 2. Should we arrest them when they do and they're, have a bad date with Johnny Law? And again, about 85% of the people will, are they dealing? As a medical? That's not the question. The question is, should we arrest them when they do and they're found? We have to go back to that. It's a yes or no question. Don't take anything else. Say, I'm sorry, but I know you can throw all these different things in there, but this is a yes or no question. Should we arrest them when they are found? And most 85%, again, say no. And that brings me to what I call the punchline. Then who should have authority over the child when they do use marijuana, however they're using it, and they happen to be found when they have a bad date with Johnny Law? The parents or the government? And just stand there and be quiet. And you're going to watch the face on them go, well, the parents, obviously. Then you say, thank you. I appreciate that, and I totally agree with you. Please sign my petition so we can make sure those parents have that authority. And you'll take most of the people. You're not going to get everybody. 15% of the people work for the government. Ironically, about 15% of the people are staunchly against cannabis legalization. 15% of the people are, cannabis users and advocates throughout there. So that leaves 70% of the people, and 70% of that people out there, I think the polling is about 70%, so the vast majority of people who support cannabis use are people like you and me, but they're not advocates. Or they're just out there. People like our parents or friends who know it's not dangerous. So these 3 questions really can, uppercut, give it a 1-2 uppercut on this. We got to save the kids. Nobody's denying that, especially anybody in Abrogate. I'm a father. My daughter's going to have kids sometime. My niece has a child. She's probably going to. I've got a nephew who I hope grows up, finds a great wife, and has children too. We all want to protect our children. I want to be able to make sure that they can protect their children, not only from the drug dealers that are out there, the bad ones, but the government. Remember, protecting our children isn't only protecting them from the boogeyman that's at the door. Sometimes the boogeyman's the guy you're paying taxes to. That's pretty much all I wanted to do. Kind of cover this kids thing, because it's a big one. It's the biggest bullet that the other side had. It's the biggest bullet that the recreational legalized like marijuana group has. Nobody wants their kids driving around drunk. Of course not. Don't stop the kids from doing these stupid things. The question is, who should have authority when those kids do that stupid thing? The parents or the government? Now I understand. They get in an accident, they drive a car, they kill somebody, that's out of the parents' hands all of a sudden. Unless there's something like self-defense going on here, that's a given. Let's use our common sense here, folks. We're talking about what happens to the children when they're found with cannabis. Not what happens when they've killed somebody. That's a different scenario. Or when they've done something really stupid. That's a different scenario. Don't need cannabis for kids to do stupid shit. I did a lot of dumb shit as a kid. People would call it dumb. I thought it was cool as hell at the time. But nonetheless, I did it. Did a lot of silly shit. At any point, nobody got hurt. Nothing was wrong. It was kids being kids. And if I did something wrong, 90% of the time, I'd have been taken back to the parent anyways. And I was, most of the time. Then I got my ass beat. So, that's about it. Have a great day.